Okay, everyone, so let's talk Facebook parties. There's going to be a lot of information in this video. This video is going to be broken up into 3 parts, maybe 4, but 3 for sure. And they will be, you will know the different parts. I'll put a little divider on there so you know which part it is. And remember, like learn part 1 and then you can go back and learn part 2 and things like that. So I want it to be a good training video for you all. So let's talk Facebook parties. That's what it's all about. So in section 1, we are going to talk about actual Facebook parties. So where you get your script, how you make your script, with getting familiar with what's going to help your party be successful before you even book your party. So some of the key things that are going to be important in Facebook parties are, first, you're going to have to decide what kind of Facebook party that you want to have, and along with that is the kind of script that you want to do. So there is no right or wrong way to do a Facebook party, okay? So don't think, people say 2-week parties are bad, or people say, oh, I can't do 30-minute parties or whatever. There's no wrong way to do a party. The idea is just to get them done, just to do the party and interact, okay? So however you want, if you want to try them all, figure out which style you like, that's fantastic. For me personally, I do my 30-minute parties. Now I say 30 minutes, but that's just the time that I'm actually online with them talking. Party is actually open for 7 to 10 days. So it's not like they have just the 30 minutes to order. Now I do stress that they order during that 30-minute time to try to put an impact on them and get it going. They have a whole week up. Usually it's a week before the party actually happens that they are getting familiar with some things, and they can maybe do some browsing and get a wish list together. And I have a little bit of strategy behind the 10 days, and I will share that with you as well. So first things first, what style parties are there? Now we all know that they're Facebook and they're going to be on Facebook. So, you need a Facebook account, obviously, to host these parties, and your host needs a Facebook account to host these parties with you. All Facebook parties are typically done in a Facebook event. Now, events can be marked private or public. I do recommend that you keep them private to your host. We want to make them seem as exclusive as possible. We don't want them to invite just like everybody. Now, sometimes it's going to happen. Your host doesn't always listen to you. The idea is not to invite 400 guests to your party. We don't want to max out the event guest list. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it as intimate as we would a home party or anything like that. So we want to narrow the guest list. Typically the invites, the e-invites that go out for the event, you want to narrow it to 50 or 60 people, and you want your host to reach out to those. But we'll get into that in the hostess coaching section, okay? So right now we're working on Facebook styles. So the 2 Facebook styles you could do as far as event or group, I've done them both. For Facebook parties, I do them all in events. Now I do have random what I consider like flash sales or things like that I actually set up in a group. Usually mix them so that I'll set up the event to invite people, and then if they want to partake in the flash sale group, then I'll add them into the group that way. But we're going to focus on events. So Facebook events as a Facebook party. So once you decide that that's the way you're going to go, then you need to decide what kind of Facebook party do you want? Do you want one that lasts 2 weeks and you're just doing a random post once or twice a day in the event for the 2 weeks? So you're spreading out. So if you have 14-day party and you do 2 posts a day, then you need to have 28 posts that you're going to go throughout the 2 weeks and post into that party. Now, if you're going to do that style of a party, that's completely fine. I have no problems with that, and I encourage you to try them. But if you're going to do that style of a party, I also recommend that you have some kind of party scheduler, or you make a note in your phone to give you an alert every single day to post your post in the party. The idea of the posts are everybody who's invited, maybe that post will come into their news feed and bring attention to the party again and bring them into the party page. So if those posts don't happen, then the event just sits there and nothing happens. Nothing goes on and nobody interacts and people don't order. So you definitely need to get those posts going. Yeah, so as of right now, there is no way for you to schedule a post in an event through Facebook. There are programs that you can use outside of Facebook. So a couple of those programs there's one, it's SenseShare. So SenseShare, this is a paid program, and if you're only going to do one or two Facebook parties here and there, save the money. Don't pay for the program. But another one is Post My Party. Post My Party is what I use. Again, if you're only going to do one or two parties here and there, then it doesn't pay to have one of those programs because those programs cost you money. So how much do those programs cost? They cost around $10 a month. Now, one of them is $9.95 and the other's $10 even, I think it is. But either way, it's $10 a month. Is it worth it? For me, I absolutely say it's a necessity. I absolutely say yes, that $10 a month is so worth it. Even if I'm having a bad month and I scheduled no Facebook parties, I still pay the $10 because the next month I know that I'm going to have several Facebook parties and I need that program. Me personally, why I use it, I have spots for 33 Facebook parties in November. It doesn't mean I'll get all spots full, but that's the ambition for 33 parties. So when you're scheduling 33 parties, you need to have something there to help you. You will go crazy. This party style is the one that I do, and it's a 30-minute Facebook party, and my parties are scheduled for 10 days, typically before. And the reason I do that is because in 10 days, you can hit 2 Fridays. So most people get paid on Fridays, and I never know which Friday it is. So I have the party going through 2 Fridays. I open the party usually on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or I end it on Sunday, typically for me. So it depends on what it is. I have party days to be Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are the best days for me to do Facebook parties. So those are the days that I schedule. But I try to make sure that the party is open for 2 Fridays so that I can try to make sure there's a payday in there somewhere. Okay, so that's me personally. Now, my script I have completely created and done myself, and it is off of a tag team. You can find them on Facebook. It is off of their style, their 30-minute Facebook party style. They do have classes on it. They do have training and whatever. Their training is not free, but there's lots of information on the 30-minute style. And basically what the 30-minute style is there's like 5 party pre-posts. So 5 days before the party, basically before the event, there's some posts, 1 a day, and they're meaningful posts. So in other words, the first one is me introducing myself and why I sell Scentsy and things like that. Then there'll be one that's, maybe one that's kind of funny but tells them something serious. So on my particular one, there is I do a picture of dogs, and one of the dogs has like a bar in his mouth, and then I talk to them about the paraffin wax and how it's a food grade wax and it's not going to hurt your animals, kind of thing. So I talked about the wax safety, but with a cutesy kind of picture that grabs attention. Another post that I have, a pre-party post that I have, is having them select their kind of scent style. So whether they like cinnamon or they like fruity or whatever kind of thing, and this is just seriously, this post is for me to learn what kind of scents they are. So if they play my game, which I do a game during my Facebook parties, not everybody does, and you got to be tricky. It's kind of tricky with games. There's rules that you have to abide by. So, but I do a ticket game during my party. And this helps me to know what kind of scents they like. So if they win the ticket game, then I can focus their prize on the scent that they like. So it's helpful for me as well. And there's a few other posts. So they're basically 5 days before the party. There's a post every single day. And then on party day, there's a few posts before the party. So leading up to the party. So there's a post like, I think it's at like noon on party day saying, yay, today's party day. And then like 3 hours before the party, 30 minutes before the party, and kind of works up to the party time. Now, during the actual 30-minute party, there's only like 4 posts. One of them's a video. One of them's like a showcase catalog kind of thing from my business page. And so there's only like 4 main posts to the party, and then there's a couple post-party posts. I tend to work this style, and I do go live during those. Instead of always having a scheduled post, I will go live in there during my time when it's convenient for me. I will go live in there, and I'll just talk to them and tell them how the party works, who their host is, what their host is trying to earn, and things like that. The more you can go live without totally like flooding the thing. I usually go once, maybe twice in the party, not during the actual party. I don't, but pre-party I'll go live and just chat with them and talk to them, and they tend to respond to that a little bit more. And then if somebody responds or anything, I do try to friend them on Facebook and start to build that relationship. The next party style is actually going live for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, however you want to do your actual party. And you can have, just like you were doing a home party, you can totally set up a table and have your items out there and just be on camera and just be chatting with these people, talking to them, going through what a warmer does, what a bar is, and all those things that you would do at a home party. Just do it live, Facebook party. So a lot of people will walk around their house and bring the people with them on their phone, and they'll show them the different warmers around their house and things like that. I do not do this. Not that I wouldn't, I think it's great, but typically Facebook parties for me personally are scheduled in the evening. So they're anywhere from like 6 to 8 p.m. is usually where my Facebook parties land, because most people are home from work and those kind of things. And my husband is home during that time, and our apartment is little. I don't have it my office is right here in the dining room, so I couldn't really be going live when he's watching TV and everything's going on. So that's really not an option for me. That's why I go live before the party starts, and we'll chat with them and maybe show them something. Maybe I have a buddy in live, I'm holding a buddy with me or something like that, and get to know them that way. But the actual 30-minute party for me is just on the computer, where just everything's typing and chatting. People are asking questions or commenting, and I'm responding to that. So those are the party styles mainly. I'm sure there's others. Everybody does their own thing, but those are the 4 main ones. And I would say for you to get a script and perfect one style first. So as you do that party style a couple of times, then maybe you modify it and you start to form your own party. Excuse me. So that's part 1, figuring out what party style. Now, there are a couple places to get scripts to help you. Now, I would not use these scripts word for word or picture for picture, because so many people are potentially using them, and Facebook might put you in Facebook jail, and that totally defeats the purpose of doing the Facebook party. Last thing you want to do is get blocked out of your party. Trust me, I've been blocked out of my own parties. I had 3 parties scheduled, and they blocked me on the first party. Total flop. So some places to get some scripts is basically online parties, and this is put together by Scentsy consultants, and I believe it is all Scentsy consultants that are in the group, and they talk about different party scripts in there, and they give you party script samples and things that you can use. There's like 35,000 consultants in this group, so if you want to join that group, definitely join that group. but let's make it easy on them because they have literally hundreds of people wanting to join this group every single day. Your Facebook profile, it needs to be easily shown that you are a current Scentsy consultant. So you need to have something on your profile, whether it's in your job description that you know, links to your business page or whatever the case may be, needs to be easily found that you are a Scentsy consultant so that they can approve you. And it does take a couple days because there's a lot of people that they have to go through on this group. So, but there's lots of useful information in there. Now, they will not talk about Facebook. They will not talk about games because it is against compliance to talk about giveaways and prizes and things like that. And so how we get around it in Facebook parties is that we don't say that there's any prizes. So like my ticket game, I just tell people that they want to collect tickets. I'm like, who doesn't want tickets? Everybody wants tickets. Collect tickets. And I give them tickets for responding and for commenting and things like that. Every single post tells them, you know, hey, do this and you get a ticket. And I just literally talk up tickets. I'm like, who doesn't want tickets? Everybody wants tickets. Collect tickets. And they have no idea what the tickets are for. They have no idea. None. And then when the party is all over, then I will message them, say, thank you for participating in my ticket game. Your tickets got you. And then I'll let them know. And I tend to give everybody, this is me again. So I tend to give everybody some kind of prize. Now, sample is usually the prize. The person who won the ticket game, quote unquote, won the ticket game, I might give a scent circle. But remember, this is Facebook parties. So I might give a scent circle because they're easy to mail. But otherwise, it's just a sample. It's a wax sample, and I give them to everybody. Why do I give them to everybody? Because then I have the opportunity to send them the link to get their contact information. So basically, it's my drawing slip done in a Google form. So I send them the link to fill out this Google form, which is basically my drawing slip, gives me their contact information, allows me to mail them their sample. Of course, they're going to fill it out because I want their sample. And gives me their contact information, which allows me to put their contact information into my workstation and add them to my process. So now speaking of that, Google Forms. Who doesn't have a Google form? If you are doing Facebook parties and you do not have a Google form, hold the door. Let's get that done. So unbelievably easy to do, and it is a must for you to be able to get the contact information for the people that are attending the party, because maybe they're a little skeptical on you right now and they don't want to send you a Facebook friend request. We need their contact information so that you can keep notes on them and you can build that relationship. How are you going to get that? Through the Google form. So in the comments, I am going to put a link. I think it's Kimberly Polita's link to creating a Google form. Super easy. They're so unbelievably easy. Now, the only thing that might be a catch-22, I don't really know because I already use Gmail, is if you don't have a Gmail account, you may need to set up a Gmail account to be able to use Google Forms. Now, you don't necessarily have to use your Gmail account other than creating Google Forms. It's all Google, so of course they want you to use their mail program. So that's definitely something else that we need to talk about and that you will definitely need to do to have successful Facebook parties. Okay, so let's talk about when you start making your own script. Whether it's in the beginning, whether you're modifying somebody else's, where do you go to do this? So there are so many apps on your phone or on a tablet that you can use to make posts. There are some on the computer, depending on whichever is easiest for you. There are free ones. There are ones that cost. I'm going to share with you some of my favorites that I use. Some of them might have costed a couple bucks. I don't remember, honestly, which ones costed me and which ones didn't. But there are plenty of free ones. So if one of them costs and you don't have the money to use to do that yet, use one of the other ones. Use one of the other free ones. So some of my favorites. On the computer, there's one. That is my absolute. There's more. There's tons that you can use. My favorite is PicMonkey. So unbelievably easy to use. And I do pay for the yearly subscription to that. It's like $33 a year. and that just gives you more things. It gives you more fonts and stuff like that. But their free version is absolutely perfect. You do not need to pay for the upgrade at all. There's a lot available to you in the free version. And I love PicMonkey on the computer, not on my phone. I don't use, they do have an app and I have it on my phone. I don't use it. I use it on the computer and I love it. Now on the computer, there's some other ones. People use Canva a lot. I have tried Canva. I am not a Canva fan. It's not hard. I'm not saying it's hard. I just feel like you're a little more restricted, and I just prefer PicMonkey. That's me personally. You may love Canva. I don't know. And I'm sure there's other ones. Now, as far as on your phone or a tablet or something like that, now I use an iPhone or iPad, so I can't tell you whether or not all of these apps are going to be available on Android or some other phones. I don't know. So I'm sure there's some, just find some similar. So some of my favorites on my phone. ABM, A Beautiful Mess, is by far one of my favorites. I believe it's a free app, so if you don't have it, get it. Word Swag, I don't know if that one's free or if it costs you money, but that's another one of my favorites. Word Dream, it's another one that I believe it's the same makers as Word Swag. There's just some different fonts and things in there that I really like, so I like Word Dream. VidLab, that's VIDLAB. Like it. I make little videos and slideshows and things like that. I love it. Snapseed. Now, Snapseed is the only thing I use it for. There's lots of things you can use it for. The only thing I use it for is the filters. There's some amazing filters on there. So, like, if you're taking photos of yourself and you're thinking, oh my gosh, why is my face so red? That's always my problem. There's other things that you can do. There's different filters on there that will like blend your face out and make it look pretty. So I do like Snapseed. PixArt, fun app. You can use it for different things. I like it. Photofy, I have not started yet, but Photofy has a paid version that's linked with Scentsy. And so all the Scentsy PNGs are already in there. Now I haven't done this one yet because they're just starting to get it really up and running, and I didn't want to pay the money if it wasn't fully working yet. Plus, they're going to have a paid version with Scentsy for PicMonkey, and I'm such a PicMonkey fan that I'm kind of waiting for PicMonkeys to come out before I buy another one. But I believe there's a free version of Photofy too that's not linked to Scentsy that you can use. So Photofy. Lumiere. I love this one. You can add little like it turns your picture into a video, but it'll like add snowfall or something like that. That one is a paid version. There are free versions. It just has the Lumiere logo down on the bottom. If you want to get rid of that, then you pay, it's like $3 or something like that. Love it. Magic Eraser. If you have not used Magic Eraser, give it a try. You can, like this background right here that's around me, I could erase it out and I could just have me and then put me on a different picture or something like that. So it's very cool. Pixbay, Pixbay. I just found out about this. I'm not kidding you at all. Maybe 4-6 weeks ago, somewhere in there. And it's basically free video or free images that you can use. Holy crap, I do not know how I had been doing this business for 3+ years and did not know about this. So I love it. Pixbay. And then ColourPop. ColourPop is a fairly new app for me personally, but it's where you can take a picture, you can do it like black and white or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like, let's say that you're holding this buddy and you do everything in black and white, and all of a sudden you color in the buddy and give the buddy a color, color pop. So very fun. And of course there's iMovie, and now I'm sure there's maybe something that Android or something has in Reflect, but if you work off an iPhone or an iPad, you are definitely going to want to use the app iMovie. That's how I created this movie. This is how I do it. You can cut snippets, move things, paste. It's amazing. iMovie is a must if you want to do, well, it's not, I mean, you can be successful without it, but it's definitely going to make your life easier, and it's so easy to use. So those are some apps that are definitely will help you to create posts and stuff for your scripts to make your script your own. So I definitely recommend that. Okay, so that's gonna wrap up part 1. I think it's a lot of information. I mean, I cut it down, I edited it, but it's still like 30 minutes worth of information. Okay, so here we are, part 2 of learning on Facebook, education, learning, whatever you want to call it. So part 2 for me is hostess coaching. It is so important for you to hostess coach. We all have hosts that are better than others. We all have hosts that don't show up to their party. We all have hosts that, rock their party. So, but hostess coaching is going to help you to increase your odds of your party totally just rocking, okay? So, we all have different programs of what hostess coaching is and what you do. Now, I personally, for my hosts for Facebook parties, I send them this packet. It costs, I don't even know how much it costs to mail. It's like $1 something to mail. Now, it's in my packet, and you could do whatever packet you want. It's totally up to you. So in my packet, I include a showcase brochure. Why do I use the brochure? Because it's cheaper to mail. It's lighter, it's easier. It gives them all the information, all the pictures, everything are in there. Cheaper. That's why I do. So I use brochure. Now I also include the join brochure, join host. Now I include the join host brochure because it also gives them information on their host rewards. Is on back, so it tells them what levels and everything else. I also do a video on host rewards, explaining each level. Now I only do the first 3 levels because that's what I focus on. So I always tell them there's 3 levels of earning, and but then also this gives them the join brochure and lets them start thinking, well, shoot, maybe I could do this. Especially if they have a successful party, then they start really thinking, maybe I could do this. So I include that. And then I've also included the Scentsy Go brochure. This just gives them a little more information on the actual Scentsy Go, because in the scent choices for the Scentsy Go, because the product showcase it has the Scentsy Go in there, but it doesn't have a lot of information on it. So I include those in the brochure. And then I include this little book. It is just cardstock that I printed this out. And what it is scent samples. So it includes 9 scent samples. They are they're in these little containers. Now I got these containers off of a online site, and I will share it in the comments for you so that you know where I got them. And there are just 9 different scents that are in the catalog. Now, typically, the scents that I use they're in the classics or seasonal, and then they're set for that season. So this gives them some samples that they can smell and share with their friends and family that are around them, and gets them excited about, because you can't smell online, right? Now, I did offer for a time to send this packet out to everybody who requested one. But you're enduring a big cost, and I wasn't seeing a big return on it. So basically, the people that were requesting the samples weren't placing any orders, and people that were ordering already knew what scents they liked and whatever, and so it was kind of what I determined to be like a waste of money. You send it out to the host. And I do let the host know to, share this with their friends and family. And I do let their friends and family on the Facebook party to let them know that, hey, your host has some samples. If you live nearby, get together with them and you can smell. That way it saves me. I only have to mail the 1 packet. Makes your host feel a little special because they're getting something good. And so this is what I start. So I mail that. Then I also do messages. and they're either via Facebook Messenger, because usually we're Facebook friends because we have to be to have Facebook hosts, right? So to have a Facebook party, we got to be Facebook friends. So usually my messages are sent through Messenger. Also, the wonderful thing about Messenger is it'll let you do voice messages. And so I have a series of messages leading up to the party. Usually it starts 10 days prior to the party, and there's a message that I send just about once every day, or a video. I'll send them. I have a video on hostess coaching, and I'll put that in the links in the comment below. And so I send these messages to them, or I send them a voice message. But I send these messages, I hope for a response. Now, I know that if the host is following my messages, they're replying to my messages, if they're sharing, like responding, then I know my party is going to be more successful than if they're not. If they're ignoring my messages, if they're not responding, I know that there's a pretty good chances that they're not even going to show up to their own party. But the wonderful thing about Facebook parties is that I don't have to go anywhere to do them. I still give it my all, because it doesn't matter if my host doesn't show up. Maybe somebody they invited really loves Scentsy and they were excited about it, and maybe they're going to show up and place an order or want to book a party or something like that. So I always 100%, whether my host is ignoring me or not, I 100% do the party, and I just never know what's going to happen. So I want to make sure that I do the party and I show up for the party. Sometimes, things come up, and maybe it was personal for your host, and they feel really bad. But I also want to keep a good relationship with the host, because I want to try to rebook them, whether they had a successful party or they had a flop of a party. Either way, I'm going to try to rebook them, and if their party was successful, I'm like, girl, you just earned tons of rewards and free product. Why wouldn't you want to do this again? Let's get you booked for springtime or fall time or whatever it is. And you almost always, they're like, heck yeah, I want to do it again. Now, if they didn't have a good party, if their party was a total flop and they didn't make it, whatever the case might be, then I also message them, and I'm like going, okay, so this party didn't work out. Maybe timing was bad. Something came up and you couldn't give it your all. Totally get that. Let's try it again. Let's do a party in 3 months or whatever I say, and let's try it again. And a lot of times they will try it again. They'll apologize, or they'll get embarrassed. They'll be like, oh, okay, she's not mad at me. That's the biggest thing. People are like, they quit talking to you because they know that they messed up, and they're embarrassed by it. Take away that embarrassment and say, hey, it's no big deal. Things happen. Comes up. Let's do this again. And then you reschedule them. Okay, so another aspect that I want to share with you guys is considered host flipping, or what I consider gifting the party. Now, this becomes really tricky on Facebook parties, because if they've already placed online orders to the party, you can't gift those. So that's where the Google Doc becomes even more important. And if your host is at all thinking about joining and you want to gift the party to them, then don't use your website link at all. Make them use the Google form. Maybe go live on the page and let them know, say, hey, this host is contemplating joining. We want to be able to gift this party to them if they decide to join. So in order for that to happen, you must use the Google Docs form to place your order. Otherwise, any order that's been placed on your website, we can't gift that. So that would absolutely have to stay with you. And then that potentially takes away from your new recruit's party if they want to join and then enter the orders under them. So now let's say that they do want to join. You're like, Terri, that's great, flipping the party or gifting the host. What do I do? It means that they need to have the $99 plus tax and shipping to join your team. You're going to have them go to your website. You're going to have them join your team, and then you're going to help them enter all these orders that you got from their Facebook party in on them through their workstation. Enter it under them so that they're going to get credit. Now, yes, you're going to lose commission on it. That's going to happen, but your team's going to grow, and ultimately it's a better way for you to build a successful business and strengthen your business, is to go wide on your front line, is much more profitable for you than just that party might have been. So I definitely recommend it. It's a fantastic tool. It can just get really tricky with Facebook parties. So if your host is at all thinking about it, talk to them, get familiar with the situation so that you can have them encourage their party guests to use the Google form so that they can contemplate joining your team. Okay, so here we are, part 3, and I think it's going to be the final part of the video. So now that you've done all this work on creating your Facebook party, and you've done all the work on hostess coaching, contact information, packets, whatever you're going to do to share with your host, now you're thinking, great, now I need parties. So now is about the time to book parties. Now we want to book as many parties as possible, but it adds a lot of stress if you've already booked the parties and you don't have the other stuff done. That's why I put it first. But here's what I do to book parties. Now, of course, you're going to ask people in your VIP group, you're going to be like, hey, who wants to have a Facebook party with me? They're going to be like, what's a Facebook party? What do I do? You're going to explain it to them. You're going to private message them, and you're going to explain it to them. During your other parties, you're going to have some kind of post or something that's going to say, hey, who wants to do this for themselves? So you can book parties. But now if you're starting from scratch and you have no parties booked, so you can't book another party from a party that you don't have, where I start is online, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do an online party. So I start in Facebook. I go to yard sale groups. Now it could be yard sale groups near me, around me. It could be yard sale groups all the way in Florida. It doesn't matter. If I belong to the yard sale group, then I'm going to participate and I'm going to put one of these posts. Now I tend to use these kind of game-like posts, and you get a lot of response. So be prepared to send lots of messages. Now, out of those responses, not everybody's going to book a party with you, okay? So be prepared for that as well. Everybody's going to respond because they think it's fun. It's like a game, and maybe they're going to get free stuff. And you can treat these games differently. I mean, sometimes people will use them to boost sales, and they'll say, hey, I'll give you a free scent circle with every $30 purchase, or whatever the case may be. But you got to do all that in private messaging. You can post this post in the yard sale group and ask for a response. Now, when people respond is when you're going to private message them what the deal is. So maybe the deal is, hey, you get a free scent circle if you host a Facebook party with me. Now they're going to say, what's a scent circle? What's a Facebook party? What do I do? And you just let them know. And you're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get a lot of people that once you send the message to, they're going to ignore you. Consider that a no. But you're going to get several yeses as well. So there's been times that I've gotten 200 responses where people are participating. And I don't know the numbers. I haven't paid attention that close to numbers. But I'm going to say easily I get 10% response. So if I've messaged 200 people, that means I'm probably booking like 20 parties. So those are great odds, right? I mean, how much time did it take to do a Facebook post and to respond to these people? Now, what I typically do is I have my responses ready. And so then under the comments, I will tell them message was sent, and then I private message them the response. And then they either answer me, they say yes, no, ask questions, or they ignore. Either way, it doesn't matter. I just move on to the next one and keep going until I find a yes. And then I book them, and then I keep going to book another one and book another one. And that's what I do. And it works. There's better days than others. Now, some days you're going to post it and you get no response. That's okay. Don't give up. That happens. Post it in a different group. Post it at a different time. Post it when you have the time to respond. Now, I would not recommend that you post one of these and then you leave for 3 hours, because you're going to get so overwhelmed. Let's say that it was a busy time and you got 60 responses. Now all of a sudden you got to respond to 60 people. But also remember, Facebook parties, online parties, people are used to instant gratification. So if you just posted the post and they respond and you're not responding back to them in a reasonable amount of time, then they start to wonder, or they get sidetracked and forget all about it. So I definitely recommend that you do this, but do this when you have some time that you're sitting. Maybe you're working from home and you have it up on your computer is what I usually do. I'm doing other stuff, but I have it up on my computer, so it lets me know when somebody responds. I go and answer that, then I go back to working. So it has worked very well for me, and it's going to work this week as well, because I am going to be focusing on booking parties this week. So if you guys have any questions, you know how to reach me. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful.